First of all, let me say salute to the panel, salute to Philosophical. I know we had our differences in the past, but
Yes, we did.
I
And I'm
respect.
gonna say this. I'm gonna say this before we get started. I My issue with you, bro, is not success. It's not the fact that you have subscribers. Get your money. My issue is you come off as someone who's trying to talk to black men, but at the same time, or talk to black people or respond to black culture, but at the same time, you shit on black culture, but you still try to carry the aesthetic that you know that's going to attract the same demographic that you're really trying to reprimand. If that's how it come off to me.
Nobody is engaged. Nobody is really participating. The only people that I really see engaged on a regular basis in Chicago, because I talk to them regularly, is Chicago Flips Red.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Now, everybody else is out of the woods.
For sure.
Now, everybody else is out of the woods. And when you have a less than 20% voter turnout rate, that means that you don't take that shit serious.
If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Greatly appreciated.
$3 a week, you know what I mean? So yeah, we don't experience that form of racism, right? But there's different forms. So for instance, when you look at the drug war, right, where the CIA could purposely flooded black communities with drugs to fund the Contra war, correct? You have a generation that happened in the 90s, right? 80s and the 90s. So now we have a generation of children or adults at this point that have mental disorders, autism, all of these different things that was derived from racist government policies that blighted our communities, right? Then we also have an issue. I know the interesting thing is brothers in our generation do a much better job than the brothers in the previous generation of being there for their children and being good fathers, right? But there was, before our generation decided to do something about that, the previous generation was blighted from the redlining and the jobs being removed out of the community. When you even look at the credit scores, right? The FICO wasn't a thing until until it was created to discriminate against blacks from being able to access credit and loans and stuff like that. So what I'm saying is, although we may not experience the same types of racism that our grandparents and parents may have experienced, some of the things that occurred still affect the generations that are coming forward today and previously. So I just wanted to, make that distinction that just because it's not the same type of racism that our grandparents or parents may have experienced, there's still forms of it from government policies that were implemented that causes generational impact. Specifically, when you look at how wealth is passed down through generations, like even the 2008 housing crisis, most of the wealth that the black community had built up from the civil rights era to the 2008 housing crisis, a lot of that wealth was wiped out in that mortgage crisis. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, but just a quick interjection. That was not understanding economics. That was signing poor mortgages, right? Because just real quick, right? So again, now we get to conflate our lack of knowledge and our lack of learning to the opportunities and things that we have here, and taking opportunities and taking advantage of those things. You just always go back to racism, the white man. No,
can I ask you what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, let me say salute to the panel, salute to Philosophical. I know we had our differences in the past, but
yes, we did.
I respect.
And I'm gonna say this before we get started. My issue with you, bro, is not success. It's not the fact that you have subscribers. Get your money. My issue is you come off as someone who's trying to talk to black men, but at the same time, or talk to black people or respond to black culture, but at the same time, you shit on black culture. Still try to carry the aesthetic that you know that's going to attract the same demographic that you're really trying to reprimand. If that's how it come off to me. Like I heard, like when we was on the panel, the thing that stood out to me the most, besides this, because I reached out to you after that, but you never responded. So
no, I don't remember you reaching out to me after.
I did. I sent you an email and you never responded. And I said,
I get thousands of emails every day.
I bet when you get on these shows, the main thing that stood out to me that day when I called up on your show, you said, fuck Malcolm X, bro. And it wasn't even about, I was of course offended that you said that, but my issue is nobody else was. And I think that You saying stuff like that and people not responding and having no smoke, and all they can see is the fact that I cut this man off, but they had no smoke or no issues for you saying that, to me was bothering me.
Yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy. You know what I mean? F Malcolm X. I mean, we probably need to hear the context around it. I want to say I do remember him saying that. I just don't remember which show. I know it was a few years ago on another panel where Anton was on, and he did say, I want to say it could have been the Millionaire Morning Show. But long story short, that's very deep. I would definitely have to go back and check out the context around what he meant and why he said that at that point in time.
And to me, I'm seeing a trend of people just feeling like just shitting on black people all together is something we need to do. Like, we can call out the bad elements without throwing out the baby with the bathwater. Because you say fuck black culture, you say that, but then when you go live, you got black culture aesthetics all around you, bro. Like, you got Chronic behind you. That's a black street nigga album, for lack of a better term. You got this one, you got that one. So it's like you're trying to appeal to the aesthetic of black people, but then at the same time you want to smack them down. It's like, I think you're sending mixed messages, and I feel like somebody that has your influence can do better than that. But that's my opinion, and that's what I want to talk about today. But the floor is yours. You can respond.
Well, first of all, I wanted to say respect to the platform, and the reason that I'm coming up here is because I support all creators, regardless of whether I agree with them or not, right? So I could disagree with you, but it doesn't mean that I don't want you to win, right? So let me start there by saying respect to the platform, and that's why I'm here. The second thing is, to answer you directly, I do think that you need to throw the culture away, because what I define as the culture, because I think it's a difference between black people and black culture, right? What we push as black culture is the things that we celebrate the most. And definitively, most of the time, that is the worst things for us. We pedestalize, we celebrate it, we don't want to call it out, but then when somebody finally says something about it, then they become the big bad wolf. And so I don't celebrate the majority of what we as a culture like to champion is best for us. It has destroyed our households, it has destroyed our communities, and it's 10 times worse than it's ever been at any point in history. So I stand on that. I haven't changed up on that at all. I think
I agree with that too.
I believe that it needs to be a completely different culture, right? We celebrate jail culture, and then we down people that actually go to school every day, and we call them lames.
But Anton,
we push the worst things for ourselves, but then at the same time, you know how many people wanted to see me lose at Corey's platform? You know how many people wanted to see me lose?
Well, why, Anton? Why they want to see you lose?
Because I represent something that they are not used to seeing winning.
But that's not true, Anton. That's not why everybody wants. That's maybe why some of them do it, but everybody didn't want to see.
I gotta say, 100%, I agree with Anton on this, because we all know that black people, 98% of black people were raised to be Democrats. They don't know why. They're just following along. And when you're a conservative, a black conservative, which black people originally were, right? And we let subcultures created by other people guide us in a certain direction and lead us all the way away from being conservative people, right? That's what we need to get back to. And somebody like Anton, who is from Detroit, right? Predominantly black city, came up just like the rest of us, made better choices. And the culture is what it is. The culture is what it is. And we know it's destroying us. So for anybody who say they cares about the community, you should be on that same page. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Let's get back to it.
But that's not true, Anton. That's not why everybody wants. That's maybe why some of them do it. But everybody didn't want to see you lose because of that, bro.
That's why most people do it. If I was up here talking about some of the worst stuff ever, like we always do in our culture, I would be cool.
Anton, this is why I gotta disagree.
But because I stand 10 toes
I don't
down
think you
on
know
what
what
I
culture
stand
is.
on,
This is why
because
I'm
of what I
disagree with
stand
you,
on 10
Anton,
toes down
because
on what
I go through the
stand on.
same thing. I go through the same thing. Everybody in this space, I just got into it with Fatty because he was saying, you need to leave this space because you want to be righteous and all that. Because I be on panels talking about real shit. I be having interviews talking about stuff that's not messy. And I don't get that support when I do that. So I don't do that.
Well,
I
then that
literally
means
was laughed at
you
by
need to learn
people
how
in
to
this
market
space.
yourself better. You need to learn how to market yourself better. That has nothing to do with.
No, I'm not even talking about, bro. I ain't even talking about numbers. I'm just talking about people rather see arguments than information. Now, if you want to say, hey, it's a better way to prevent your information, I'm
That's
not
a
pushing,
fact.
I'm always open to a suggestion. But what I'm saying is I've been on panels with just all men, bro, and they laughed at me because I said things like, they said, what's your solution, Illa? I said, I think the children is the solution. I think the children is a viable solution because we can't fix old dogs, but we can re-engineer and
I agree
reteach.
with that.
But this is the thing. This
Mhm.
space laughed at me. I was on panels with dudes and I was bringing out books about history, about
But
culture,
the
and
difference
niggas really
between you
asked.
and me is that I don't give a fuck about what people think about me.
No, I'm just giving you an example of how the gripe that I don't give a fuck me. That's why I do what I do. But
No,
I'm
well,
just
you
giving you an
started
example
off
of
by
that gripe
saying
that you have. I have that gripe as well. But that doesn't excuse, that doesn't mean I'm not going to still speak to these people with love. Like it's still some love and empathy in me trying to relate to people because everybody is not what we see on the computer. Everybody's not what we see on the street. These people still got children, aunts and uncles and nieces and nephews.
and
So I don't want to speak a message that just go ahead.
some people's lineage needs to die off. I don't need to support and rock out with people just because you black. There's some people that are so degenerate and so bad for what it is that we stand for. And let's be clear, we're the only culture that forces all of us to support all of the bullshit, regardless of what everybody does. All white people don't fuck with white people. Asian people don't fuck with Asian people. They outcast them to certain cities. If you go over to Japan, if you go over to Tokyo, they got whole cities that's dedicated to motherfuckers that can't come outside.
This is probably one of the most unromantic ass generations in the world. Like, you literally gotta ask a man for dates, ask them for flowers, ask them for time. Like, it be so rare that you have a connection with somebody that want to do those things naturally. As a woman, I'm not telling you shit that you should already know. You should know that I like flowers. You should know that I like dates. You should know that I want time spent. Like, I'm not the bitch that you keep put up in the crib. I want to go out. I want to be seen. I want to have a time. I cannot do a boring nigga. That shit drives me insane. I like to have fun. I like to create memories. If you're boring, it will never, ever, 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 ever work with me.
Stop the cat.
Based off of the fact that they're not contributing to the culture and they're degenerate. But we're the only culture that we have to support at all just because I'm black. No, I don't.
No, I don't think we need to support all the bullshit. But we still have to give freedom.
But let me just say this. I think that what you said as far as ruling in love, I don't believe in that. I believe that sometimes you have to completely go in to destroy all of it. And I don't feel as though I have to make it right with people that have lived their whole lives to be destroyers. Some people are not good people for people, and I believe that I can destroy it all. I think when I go into a place, I'm not looking to be friends with these niggas. I don't need to have a conversation with everybody to make it cool. And let me be very clear. When me and Corey, because a lot of people say I came in with an agenda.
I thought you did.
Corey called me and set the pace of what the agenda was going to be before I got there. I knew it was going to be smoke because he already told me that it was going to be smoke and that he had smoke for me. I knew he was going to disrespect me before he disrespected me because he had already led on. He didn't say directly, I'm going to disrespect you. He said, I got smoke for you and it's not going to, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be one of them cool shows. So what do you think I'm going to do? You think I'm going to go in there like a deer in headlights?
Hey,
I don't think he really knew.
I'm asking a question.
I don't think he did.
Because
No,
everybody
if
keeps
that's
saying
the case,
they
no.
make a big deal. They make a
If
big
that's
deal
the
when I
case,
say
no.
that I prepared and I studied for them. I think that the real travesty is that he wasn't prepared, but yet he invited me to his studio. I flew from Detroit to LA. And so you think that I'm supposed to be the B-side. I'm supposed to be the one that's going to lose. I wasn't prepared to lose.
That part right there.
And prior to you coming on the show, I kind of alluded to that because, quite frankly, like I told the brothers here, y'all both won because y'all basically have us talking about it, and the internet space. That is exactly what it's designed for: is to have people talk. Whether they're talking negative or positive does not matter. The point is, we're sitting here talking about it. So I commend y'all both on that. But to my point that I made prior to that, neither one of y'all was sitting there y'all both were doing the same thing. When you pointed out the fact that
I met his energy, bro. I never got disrespectful. Until I got disrespectful.
Hey, you ain't being honest. You came in, Anton, you came in being condescending, bro.
What did I say? Wait. What did I say that was condescending?
You said you came in to allude to his chat. You came in to allude to how tough his chat was, and that they not tough. That's condescending.
Because the whole chat, if you go back and watch the live, the whole chat was saying, "Oh, he gay, he gay, he gay, he gay, he gay."
But you just said you don't care what people say. You just said you don't care what people think, bro.
The first thing that Anton said was
that I was on time and being disrespectful because I talked to the chat.
I said condescending. That's what I said.
Yeah, but again, bro, this is the content creator part of it, bro. Y'all again,
fantastic.
You can't say all fantastic. Let me say this.
I do every single day.
What is that?
On every single live stream. On my own live streams, is I talk shit to the chat. I talk shit to my own chat every single day. That is not new.
Let's get off the chat. Let's get off the chat.
I want to know.
That's one at a time, y'all. Anton here, so let's let him talk.
The first thing that Anton said was he was on time.
Disrespectful to him.
How's that disrespectful?
Prior to being told, prior to being told that I kissed white men's ass.
Not disrespectful, it was condescending. The on-time statement, the very first statement that Anton made was
I got invited to a show.
And he was late.
Wait. I got invited to a show. I flew 4.5 fucking hours from Detroit.
So what?
Wait, give me a second.
Okay, you're right.
I flew 4 hours from Detroit. I'm there on time. I gotta wait more than a half hour for you to even arrive. That's disrespectful in itself.
Yeah, on business, demand, and everything. That's what I'm saying. How you gonna say whatever?
You could discuss that off camera, though. You could discuss that before the show started, bro. You could discuss that before the show started. If it's that big of a deal, bro, you could discuss that before the camera get rolling.
Hey, when Illa talking, man, y'all gotta shut the hell up. When Illa talking, y'all gotta shut the fuck up, bro.
All right,
fellas.
Why do you think that he was complaining about the conversation that I had with Darlene for a long time before he even got there? You know why I was able to do that? Is because he wasn't there.
Yeah, he was late.
The reason why I was able to have so much conversation and get toured on the whole facility and find out who owned it and learn all about what it is that's going on and see how his production team worked and kick it with Darlene and get every single piece of information is because he wasn't there. That's not my fault. That's the you fault.
So what are you trying to expose by doing that?
No, I said, what did I do that was disrespectful prior to being told?
Before we got to the disrespectful part, we asked about the condescending. The first thing that they said was the chat. But hold on, Anton. The condescending thing you did, the very first thing you said was condescending, which was I was on time, which was something you could have discussed afterwards. But you came there with the identity that you were gonna win something.
That's unfair.
Listen.
So he told me.
He already explained what he was trying to do.
He told me on the phone he wanted this to be an explosive, volatile, and he wanted this to be emotional. He told me, listen, this is the honest to God truth.
Can you prove that?
No. Listen to what I'm about to say.
Let him talk, y'all. Let him
You don't have
talk.
to prove it.
No,
You
you're
can
right,
ask
right,
him.
Anton.
Wait, listen to what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
One of the things that he told me when I first got on the call is, I hope you don't record phone calls. I said, I said, what's that? I said, I don't record no phone calls. I said, you ain't never seen me drop no receipts on nobody phone calls. He said, because, I want to set the stage of how things is going to go. First thing he started to do is he started to talk about all of the niggas that he didn't like. I'm not going to say that out loud because that ain't got nothing to do.
That ain't important.
The second thing that he said was what he wanted the show to be like. He knew it was going to be volatile. He knew it was going to be problems. He didn't want me to agree with him. And he wanted it to actually be some real fireworks in there.
Okay. That's
So
fine.
Now, let me hold on.
Okay. If you set the stage for how you want it to go, it's your show, it's your studio, it's your production team. You say you want me to be there. I got the text messages from Phil of exactly the time that I had to be there. I'm sitting there waiting, all of this stuff. Why are y'all making so many excuses for a grown man not being able to meet the expectation?
Exactly. Let me ask this question. Oh, let me ask this question. Let me ask this question.
Monster, let me jump in real quick. I'm gonna say this.
Anton good at.
Because I don't want to be petty because we can get to the meat of the shit. If that's the case, out of fairness, I'm not. Nobody can say I'm unfair. We already know our history is well documented. If Corey was late and he told you that on the phone, you just saying I was on time is minor, in my opinion. In that instance, that's small. We could just move on. That's what happened behind the scenes, and all you said was you was late. I think that's like. It's null and void at that point, that aspect, but it's a lot to unpack in this conversation.
It's a lot.
I have a question.
Wait. Here's the real question. Because see, y'all only talk about how I responded. What did I do to warrant a nigga saying to me that I kiss white man's ass?
Well, let me make this statement.
Go ahead, Boss.
I got a statement to make because I gotta run in a little bit. But when I first got on, I specifically said you can't police someone's response to disrespect. I said that. So whatever someone says or does that triggers you in a way that's disrespectful, they don't have a right to determine how you respond to their disrespect. But
I agree.
What I wanted to say though, my question for you, Anton, is this. You spoke about how certain aspects of Black culture is toxic, how it needs to die, and I understand
the majority of what it is yes.
For sure. And you don't really care about, what people think, so on and so forth. However, I must say, do you think the display that you both had is a good image and positive and beneficial to the image of Black men based on what's already said about the levels of ignorance or toxicity that people say we display? Wouldn't that be a part of the negative elements of Black culture that you are against?
No, absolutely not.
Could you explain?
It's because I believe that people need to understand that intellect and the nerd, because I champion myself as being a nerd, that it's cooler to be the nerd than it is to be the guy that he is.
Okay, so what about
the message that people received is that the bully get bullied when they don't have themselves ready and prepared intellectually, and it shows that the leaders and the people that we follow is trash. And so I don't give a fuck about what other people think about me. As far as like outsiders, what people will say is the image of Black people. The only thing I care about is how am I affecting other people as far as changing the narrative of what we should be and how we should be as far as what we champion is the best thing for the culture. That's the only thing I care about. I don't give a fuck about what nobody else thinks.
But even more importantly,
what I took from it is it was intellectual until it wasn't. It was a conversation until one person couldn't substantiate their argument, and then they started to throw insults. But see, what I believe is awesome about the whole situation is that this isn't a Black thing. This isn't just a white thing. This isn't anything. This is a man thing. And when somebody call you an insult, I don't think it's a bad thing to stand up for yourself. When somebody say, hey, move out the way, and they pull up their chair like they're going to do something, I don't think it's a bad thing for you to stand up for yourself.
That part right there.
Like, all right, go.
Okay, so you just said you came in and you matched energy. I want to challenge you. You didn't match the final energy. I believe you saved yourself through optics by looking like you matched energy.
How do you know?
Because you didn't say it again.
I said it 3 times.
No, when he was in your face.
You want me to put a pen on my shoulder and say,
Anton, this is the part that everybody missed. When he got in your face, he took time. He said, do you want to go there? I don't know all the verbatim, right? But when he put that mic down, he said, say it again. Since you wanted to since you wanted to provoke that level of energy, you should have said it again since you wanted to match that energy. Going outside is not matching that energy. Saying it again is matching that energy, Anton. And that's what real men do.
Listen, bro.
Hold on. Anton, let me finish my part. Because you only got 30 minutes. You only got 30 minutes. Look, if somebody comes to you in your face and said, hey, you said some shit from over there, but I'm in your face and I don't want to tear my shit up and I don't want to derail my brand. No. But guess what? A man gives another man a chance to pop some shit off if he really want to, because sucking the dick of black people is popping some shit off. But he came to your face and he said, say it again, brother. Say it again.
Jesus Christ.
So you gonna give me a chance to respond, or you just want to get it out?
Bro, you ain't.
We just matching energy until he wasn't.
Hey, fantastic. Chill out. Go ahead, Anton.
You telling me to chill out, nigga? I'm the only one that ain't
Hold on. We ain't gotta argue. Here's the thing. Here's where I'm from. It may be a little bit different than where you from. Where I'm from, we don't have to go up to a person and say, we don't need nobody to put a battery in our back to do whatever it is that we feel. If we feel disrespected, we disrespect it. So it's either you're going to do something or you don't. Here's the key. I'm not there to fight. I'm not there to be a tough guy.
But you were. You provoked something.
You gonna let me finish?
Yeah, let him talk. Please let him talk.
You gonna let me finish? I'm not there to be the tough guy. I'm also not there to fuck up your platform. Because the one thing that we know for sure, and the two things is for certain, is YouTube do not fuck around when people fight. Okay. They don't fuck around with porn and they don't fuck around with fighting. They will demonetize you, they will remove you, and your platform will be completely gone.
All right, I'm gonna stop this right here. Shout out to Philosophical for the content. Anton pulled up, spoke his piece. As y'all know, Anton and Philosophical had an issue about 2 years ago. He came up, pulled up, spoke his piece. Now they're gonna do some content. This is how black men should be moving. All right? This is how black men should be moving. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one, man. ENT 2.0.
Okay, so she don't know that I have a TikTok. It's specifically for black men, and I tell them how to drink their water, and I check on them. So is it anything you want to say to the black man right now? I only have like 50,000 followers.
You are loved.
You see that? You are awesome and you are loved. Yes. So please drink your water.
Mind your business.
Oh, mind your business.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Mind your business. Drink your water.
And have a blessed day.
And have a blessed day.